Okay, so this is my 5 ways or 5 things that FSD does better than human drivers. The first way that FSD is better is with lane changes. When I'm making lane changes and I'm driving, I'm usually checking the mirrors, making sure I'm clear to make the change, make sure nobody's back there, make sure nobody's coming up fast on me or anything like that, and put my blinker on, and then I'm trying to get over, make sure it's all clear, and then once I move into that lane, I'm checking the lanes around me to make sure everything else is good. Tesla FSD does it so fast, it just puts the turn signal on quickly, moves over, and boom, you're in a lane change. And a lot of times it's kind of unexpected. It does it for a lot of different reasons, but it's just so smooth and it does it so quick. It's kind of shocking really how fast it works. And I think it's just better, it's safer, because you're not spending that time checking, breaking your neck to make sure there's nothing around, and then making the change. It just does it so fast because the cameras already see all the way around you, and it just makes a much safer lane change. Making a lane change now. And the second way that FSD does things better than humans is common courtesy when driving. A lot of times when people need to get over and we're in a hurry, a lot of times we won't let the person over. I've done it many times. We're in a hurry, we got places to go, everybody else has got places to go, and sometimes you just don't want to let that next car over. But FSD will slow down if somebody's wanting to get over, they'll just let them get over. And it does kind of take the stress out of things because of that, because you're not really thinking, I got to let this guy over, or I don't want to let this guy over, I'm going to speed up or anything like that. No, it typically just lets people get over when they want to get over. So if you're just sitting back for the ride and enjoying it, then it's not a problem, and just kind of happens. It's real smooth, and it's just more common courtesy to other drivers. The third way, even right there, just happened. Unbelievable. Crazy. Wish I had my camera on that. Dude almost hit me. And that kind of leads into the whole common courtesy thing as well, is reaction time. When drivers are trying to get over, sometimes they won't use their turn signal. They'll just start to move over in your lane right away, and you've got to react, and you've got to do it quickly. And you may not even know it because they didn't put their turn signal on, and so you didn't even know what was coming. And you're thinking, wow, okay, this guy's just coming over right now. You're slamming on the brakes or slowing down, and you got to let this guy over because he's bound and determined to get over. So the reaction time on FSD is so fast. It really is kind of shocking, really, for me. I know as I get older, my reaction time's not as good, and it just happens so fast. I've had so many times that people have just, pulled right over into the lane without using a turn signal, and the car slows down immediately and brakes or swerves out of the way. It's really kind of surprising how quick it happens, and the reaction of FSD is just so much better than human reaction time. If there's something in the road, it does so good at just maneuvering around that. It's just mind-boggling to me how fast it reacts to things that happen so quickly on the road. And I just think the reaction time is much better than human reaction time. The fourth way that FSD is better than humans is visibility. The cameras just have a much better view of the road than we do. There's 8 cameras, I believe, maybe even 9 cameras on the Model Y Juniper, and they see everything. There was a time when I was stuck in traffic at a light, and there was just a long line of cars, and the right lane, there was nobody in the right lane, and I didn't understand why nobody was going that way. and I didn't see, but the car had already spotted what the problem was. And so I took it out of FSD, moved into the right lane, and I thought, well, I'll just move in this lane and try and get around all this, and if I have to, I'll just turn up here. As soon as I moved into the right lane, there was a vehicle stuck in the road, like a delivery vehicle that was delivering stuff, and it just kind of blew me away that I hadn't seen that, and the camera had already seen it a long way up there, and it had moved into the left lane with all the other cars. And here I am taking it out of FSD, moving it back into the right lane because I didn't see it, and then I had to fight my way back into the left lane again. And of course, nobody wants to let you in when you get out of the lane. So, you know, that's a problem in and of itself. But you know, you try to look for the fastest ways around the city, and that's just what happens. But the visibility of the cameras is just unmatched. We're not going to see every single thing that happens on the road, and the cameras are constantly just looking at everything and making quick decisions and getting us out of problems that, you know, we would normally not be aware of. I've had several cases where the car got in a lane, I just wouldn't have done it, and the car did it, and it was because there was something up there that it had already seen, and it knew ahead of time what was going on. And so the visibility of FSD is just far better than human visibility, and the reaction time gets you out of bad situations a lot quicker as well. Okay, and my fifth way that FSD is much better than human drivers, and definitely better than me, is consistency. I've found that my drive to work is much more smooth, much more consistent than when I'm driving, because when I'm driving, I'm making all kinds of decisions to, you know, pass somebody, go around somebody. I don't really have to. It's just, I just feel like, you know, when I'm driving, that's what I want to do. And so I weaving in and out of traffic, you know, going around people I don't want to be around, all kinds of different situations, trying to hurry to get to work. And when I'm using FSD, it's just a much more smooth ride. I'm calmer. I let the car do all the work. I let FSD make the decisions, and it's really consistent. It's like my ride to work is almost the same ride to work every day, no matter the traffic pattern, which is nice. I'm not stressed about trying to get around somebody. I don't want to be behind. It's just a much smoother, more relaxing ride, definitely less stressful going into work, and it just seems very consistent about everything instead of all the different decisions we're always making. You know, somebody might make you mad on the road and you're like, I'm going to get around that guy, or, you know, you might make somebody mad on the road and then they're trying to fly around you, all these different things like that. And it's just, I just don't seem to notice that anymore, because I'm not paying attention to that. But it's just kind of nice to sit there and let the car do all the work. And it's a nice, smooth, consistent ride into work. And I just think it's better than when I'm driving and doing it myself and creating my own problems. And that's my 5 ways that FSD is better than humans, in my opinion. And I'm sure there's a lot of other ways too, but that was just the 5 that was on the top of my head that I've kind of noticed and how they've impacted me.